Breaking from Hallis Hall, the edge room just flipped, the deadline math shifted, and the NFC North chessboard looks different tonight. Ride with me, because I'm about to show you how the rotation changes snap by snap, what the front office is pricing on the trade market, and why a rookie with long arms and zero fear might be the hinge that keeps this defense on schedule. Here's the brief so you know exactly what you're getting without me spoiling the punchline. Rotation impact, cap context, the real names that actually make sense at the deadline, and the internal levers, front mechanics, rush rules, and snap allocation that let us keep winning the downs that decide games. If you stick through the close, I want your call on how aggressive we should be. The sharpest argument gets featured next upload. I'm not here to sell panic. I'm here to explain what changed, what didn't, and how we still control the board if we keep our discipline and play to our strengths. You want the truth, not the noise. You're getting it right now. Let me start with how the defense has actually been winning the last month. When we leaned into five-man pictures on passing downs and tightened the match principles on the perimeter, the ball started coming out a beat earlier. That helped the interior reduce space. It let the linebackers play downhill, and it allowed Montez Sweat to dictate protections instead of reacting to them. The kink has been complementary edge production. Too many reps finished one step late. We forced resets, the quarterback slipped away, and a positive answer bailed them out. You felt it on 3rd and long, you felt it in 2 minutes, and you felt it whenever we needed a closer opposite Sweat to slam the door. That's why the staff wanted reliability at that second edge seat. That's also why the next thing I'm about to say matters as much as anything we've discussed all year. Before we hit the headline, I want you to see the whiteboard. Base approach, even and odd fronts without wholesale subbing, nickel owning 3rd and medium, edges with simple rules, contain first, counter second, so interior wins turn into drive-ending plays. Money distribution, Sweat at the top, a veteran bookend, then rookie deal juice and role players to keep the room fresh. That structure doesn't evaporate in one weekend. What changes is urgency at the second seat, because reliability at that spot is what keeps the entire package flexible. The plan has never been to be cute, the plan has been to be multiple, clean, and repeatable. Tonight tests that. Here's the moment you came for. The Bears lost a starter off the edge, and it isn't a sprain, it isn't a 2-week tweak. Odettingbo suffered a torn Achilles in the Week 9 47-42 win over the Bengals and is out for the season. That's the kind of blow that tests a plan. The front office didn't bring him here to be a specialist, they signed him to a 3-year, $48 million deal to eat volume, stand up the run, and give Sweat an honest partner so offenses couldn't slide help every snap. 8 games, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 4 quarterback hits. Below the headline production we hoped for, sure, but the snap-to-snap reliability mattered because it let the staff call the full menu. When you lose the high-floor bookend, you don't just lose pressure, you lose the freedom to disguise, to hold leverage on early downs, and to save bullets for the fourth quarter. That's the truth, and that's why tonight's conversation is serious. Depth today reads like this: Sweat as the tone setter, Austin Booker and Daniel Hardy the only healthy edges on the 53 behind him, Dominique Robinson working back from a high ankle, and the rookie room already thinned by Shamar Turner's season-ending ACL. That's thin. That also means somebody's going to be asked to grow up fast, and if you watch Sunday, you know the rookie circled that assignment in Sharpie. Booker's return came with the kind of rep that changes how tackles set. A one-arm long arm, hip through, tomahawk on the throwing hand, ball on the ground. That's not a cleanup, that's a closer sequence. His get-off makes right tackles kick wider, which changes how protections help on Sweat. That's the multiplier effect we've been begging for. Use him in leverage moments. Wide 9 and pressure looks, reduced and simulated pressure, so his length and strides show up where it hurts offenses most. One more hard number for the tape heads. Independent grading had Booker as the Bears' highest-graded defender in the Bengals win, a 90.0 overall with an 85.8 pass rush mark. That's not a box score glow, that's down-to-down quality, the kind of profile that earns 25 to 30 snaps and specialized 3rd and 7 usage while coaches protect him from early down double teams. I'd script his week with a ramp, 5 to 7 first down snaps to test the run fits, 10 to 12 money down looks to chase edges, and a handful of 2-minute rushes where the ball has to come out, then grow the pie if his counter stays sharp. Scheme levers you'll notice starting now. Shorter edges on early downs to force the run inside. Stricter no-dribble rules on contain so mobile quarterbacks can't escape when the front side wins. And more three-man simulated pressure with a fourth late adder out of empty to trigger quick throws we tackle in front. When we go five-man, expect the reduced end of the back and the nickel as the changeup. Trap the back in protection and isolate the tackle in space. That's how you manufacture edge wins without blowing the top off the coverage or asking the back end to hold forever. It's not flashy, it's repeatable. And in the red zone, watch for long stick calls from the weak edge to muddy pullers and blur quarterback read windows. Those small decisions steal points. Now the market, because I know you've been running the trade machine. The Bears went into Week 9 tied for the league's third worst pass rush win rate, 31% per ESPN's tracking, which is exactly why the room had a veteran partner for Sweat in the first place. Losing that piece can push you towards a splash, but splash pricing is a different universe at the deadline, and the league's buzzer hits at 4 p.m. ET on Tuesday. Trey Hendrickson sits on the top shelf, and the ask has been a first-rounder. That's not sticker shock, that's the reality for a proven closer. Kayvon Thibodeau lives in a similar price neighborhood, former top 5 pick, heavy asset value, and a second at minimum just to start the conversation. Lower-cost avenues exist. Jermaine Johnson if the Jets listen, or an inside-out answer like Draymond Jones if the seller wants flexibility, but those require the board to break right and your price to stay firm. And remember, pass rush win rate is a useful signal, not a sentence. If you fix the finishing problem, close 2 more rushes per game, turn 1 scramble into a throwaway and 1 throwaway into a sack, you change drive math without changing the entire depth chart. That's why price discipline matters as the clock ticks towards the deadline. That's the crux. Discipline. This front office has heavy money already at edge. Sweat's 2025 number is team-high territory. Odettingbo sits in the middle tier that lets you build a real roster. You don't chase a headline by throwing a 1 at a position you just funded. You buy the right role at the right cost, or you lean into development and borrow edge wins from your structure. Right now, leaning into Booker's rise and Hardy's speed on special packages while Robinson ramps is a valid plan if you align snaps to situations and protect the coverage shell. That doesn't mean you ignore the phone. It means you set the price, you let the market come to you, and if a seller blanks, you're ready with a pick that won't hurt the future. Let me give you the clean, accessible version of the cap and picks piece because I know that's where a lot of fans get stuck. You can be aggressive without being reckless. The contract stack says we can add a mid-tier edge on an expiring or team-friendly number without blowing up 2026 flexibility. The pick stack says we should prefer price-controlled production over rental splash unless the market softens. Smart teams win twice, once by making the move and again by paying the right price. Chicago has been building that way for months, and this moment doesn't have to knock us off that path. You keep your identity, protect your locker room, and target situational improvements that matter most in November. 3rd and 7, 2-minute, and red zone. That's where one pressure changes outcomes. Here's where you come in, and I want you in the comments before we close. If the Bears can land a mid-tier veteran for day 3 capital, do you pull the trigger now or bet on Booker's snap growth and spend the pick later on secondary depth or interior rush? Give me the archetype you want: length and speed closer, heavy hands edge setter, or inside-out stunt merchant, and the exact role you'd slot him into. I'll build the next breakdown around the smartest thread and shout out the best argument on the upload. This community has been razor sharp all season, and I want your board on the table tonight. My final analysis, quick and professional. The headline is harsh because it strikes the one spot designed to stabilize the front, and there's no way to sugarcoat a season-ending injury to a starter signed to carry volume. But the blueprint holds. Sweat's form is trending up. Booker offers real juice if we deploy him where it matters. Hardy and Robinson can cover roles, and the market gives you options that don't require throwing a first at the wall. Chicago can stay competitive by staying multiple, playing clean situational football, and leaning into development where it makes the most sense, not the loudest sense. If you want fast injury updates, cap-smart trade analysis, and real tape talk, subscribe to Bears News Fan Report and turn on notifications so you don't miss any move.